Hello, my name is Xavier Chai Kai Yin, and my student ID number is 104389017. For this reflective video, the very first topic that will be covered is variables. In C, variables are used to store data. Here, we declare four different types: int for whole numbers, float for decimals, char for single character, and double for high precision decimals. Each variable is assigned a value, and we use printf with the matching format specifier like %d for int or %f for float to display them. Variables are the very foundation of every C program, and as we can see here, here's the output for this first example. Moving on to the second topic, standard input and output, which lets our program communicate with the user. We use printf to display a message asking for the user's name and age, and scanf to read what the user types in. Notice the ampersand symbol before age here. That tells scanf where in memory to store the value, which is over here at the variable age. Once we have the input, we print a personalized message back to the screen, as we can see here in the terminal. Moving on to the third topic, selection. Selection statements allow our program to make decisions based on conditions in this example. We first ask the user to enter their score using scanf. Then we use an if statement to check if their score is 80 or above. If that's true, the program prints grade A and skips everything else. If that first condition is false, it moves down to the else if to check if the score is 60 or above and prints grade B. It keeps checking each condition in order until one is true. If none of the conditions match, meaning the score is below 40, then we move below here. The final else block acts as a catch-all and prints grade F. The key thing to understand here is that only one block ever runs. The moment a condition is satisfied, the rest of the blocks are ignored. This is what makes selection so useful for this program, as it can respond differently depending on what the user gives it. As we can see here, here's the example output. For a score of 100, it will give us a grade of A. And then for the second example output for this example, for a score of 50, we get the grade C. Now, moving on to the fourth topic, loop. Loop lets us repeat code without writing it over and over. This for loop starts I at 1, runs while I is less than or equal to 10, and increments I by 1 each time. Inside the loop, we multiply the user's number by I and print the result. In just a few lines, we generate the entire multiplication table, as we can see here for 22. Moving on to the last topic, function. Functions let us break our code into reusable blocks. We first declare add at the top so that the compiler knows it exists. Then we call it in main. Then we call it in main by passing in two numbers, x and y. The function receives them as a and b and adds them, and then returns the result back to main, where this is displayed in the terminal output. This code keeps our code organized and easy to reuse. And here we can see the example of this script. Thank you. That would be all for this reflection video.